Good morning. How are you doing? It's been physically challenging for me again lately. Lots of pain, interspersed with the bliss. It's a good life. No complaints here. Okay. I tried to record this one yesterday and the recording failed. I've actually been having pretty good luck lately. I do tend to uh, me and electronics, I don't know. I spook them sometimes. All right, so this is a journal from 9/19 of 2010. The second one of that day, the Mayan day, was 12 Vulture or Wisdom. And it's called You Aren't Who You Think, You're Much Better, or Entering Inner Silence. Not having arrogance. That was the last topic. It's an interesting one. We look at the dark ones and are positively amazed at the level of cold, hard arrogance they display. Well, we must look to the self for this. It's quite woven in. They've seen to that, and they know it keeps us away from the light of the heart. And stepping out of the journal here, let's not enter the blame game at all for this. If we want to find cold, hard arrogance, let's just look at our quote-unquote scientific experiments or our treatment of animals. The ETs have nothing on us for that. All right. Though the dark ones, with the mental gymnastics they are able to do, spin rings around us with our 10 or 20% or so of brain power that we have accessible. And the one thing they don't get is that it's not through the brain at all that we make it to light, to the great beings that we truly are. They've caged us within the mind and then limited the mind we can access, cut us back from 100%. Maybe they thought that this would be enough to keep us enslaved to them, and maybe forever. Well, it don't work that way. Ho ho and ha ha. You see, in spite of their great understanding, their mental and technological magnificence, they've got nothing on us. Oh, they thought they did, but remember, they're just affecting the containers of us, what we wear, these skin suits. They sewed up straitjackets for us to work our way out of, thinking they had us quite locked down. Well, don't be sorry for them that their day is over. It's been over for quite a while. We're just watching them scramble right now, hanging on for dear life. They're the ones going crazy. All their great schemes, their great empires are coming to naught. With all of their great understanding, the one thing they hadn't counted on was our heart. They couldn't take away that. No, not possible. Oh, divert us from it. Lock us into not just mind, but left brain side of that. These things they could and did do. And they worked for a while, but the dark ones have partied long enough. The party is over now. We're calling a halt. Who knows who and what we really are, dear ones? Take the heart path, not mind and the ego, to this, and come into your very own greatness. It isn't really your very own, simply because there's no real you when you get down to it. Not the way you've conceived. And that's just mind doing that. You're far greater than mind can conceive. Do you see why taking the pathway through heart is so important here? Do you see the test setup there where so many have failed. They've taken the ego to be the real self, taken the bright powers of light into the hands of the ego, and gone wrong with them again and yet again. Well, this is no time for failure. Cast that thought out. If you truly come into heart, it is simply impossible to fail. And that's all we must do, is to stay in the heart with this. Be observant and look out for ego and friends. Kick them out. They stink of the mind. Now, I use this term mind to mean certain things. Others, such as the Buddhists, have a different meaning for the same word. So don't think that just because you know the definition of some words, that you know what is being said here. Once again, that is a mind trick. Do you see how it works? You see, as you step into heart more and more often and observe life from there, you begin to see these things. You see the mind in its operations. It begins to become transparent to you. Illumination shines through, but only as long as you retain your heart focus. And you will slip out of this 1,000,000 or more times. Don't even be disappointed by that. That's another trick of the mind, disappointment. Do you see how it stinks of the essence of time? Time as limitation, not as freedom to roam. So, along with no expectations, let's have no disappointment in self. Let's be gentle with you. How about that? That's creative, huh? How about loving the self, really loving, holding it in tender regard? Know that your real self is quite sensitive. You never need to be rough with the self. If that is required, life will see to it. You don't have to. So stop beating yourself up. Watch for that. There are no hard and fast rules that can be listed. It's just not possible. If it were, then guess what? Yep, that would be mind. Some of you got it right away. I saw that. Excellent catch. It comes from observing, just being quiet within, not necessarily without. Outside can be quite active. The normal chaos, your day at work. You don't have to be in a Himalayan cave somewhere. And that's fine. Still, there can be this silence within. There's an emptiness you enter where you fade away somehow. You just become the silent watcher of your life. You're not focused or centered anywhere. It's very interesting. Words don't do it justice. You'll just know. And it's rather pleasant, actually. If there was a hard and fast rule, it would just be center in heart. Just that. Everything else flows from this. Well, not from there, for heart is not really a place. And if it was, that wouldn't be sufficient for such